Hello everyone, I'm meteorologist Lee Southwick. We just got the 8 a.m. update from the National Hurricane Center, and they're still keeping Debby at tropical storm strength with sustained winds of 45 miles an hour, and it's moving to the northeast at 6 miles an hour, it says. But notice that the cone, they're going to take it down to the south, down to the coast. So the center of Debby, very close to Savannah, and they have it staying near Savannah and moving through coastal Georgia over the next 12 hours. Then as we head overnight tonight, it will likely cross back out into the Atlantic and stay at tropical storm strength. In fact, as it's over the Atlantic, those are warm waters. It could start to fuel and feed the storm again, and it could start to strengthen some. So right now, winds of 45 miles an hour expected to stay at that strength through the rest of today and overnight tonight. But by tomorrow afternoon, it could start to have winds of 50 miles an hour. And then by overnight Wednesday night into Thursday morning, winds of 60 miles an hour. From there, it's forecast to move back on shore for coastal South Carolina, mainly near, this looks like it's north of Charleston, in between the Charleston and Myrtle Beach area, or right around the Charleston area. And then it will start to move inland through South Carolina, through North Carolina. A lot of uncertainty on exactly where the center will be here. It could be anywhere from eastern North Carolina to western North Carolina, and eventually it will of course weaken over land, and then the remnants will pass through places like Philadelphia, New York, and Boston. So here's a look at where we have Debby right now, and again, it's bringing a light shower activity to parts of the first coast. The heavier rain, the worst of the rain, moving through the Charleston area and then up towards the Myrtle Beach area. Now it looks like a little bit heavier rain, and that band eventually wrapping into places like Columbia and then back down through portions of Georgia. And then again, for us though, it's just this light, almost annoying rain and mist. Not a lot of it popping up on our radar, but I have seen some reports of mist. I've seen some mist on our cameras as well, where it's not even showing rain. So it's just that low level mist that's popping up all across the first coast, but not everyone seeing that rain. We do have some more steady light rain showers passing through Jacksonville, up through Fernandina Beach as well. And then it looks like a little bit more about to head down into places like Columbia County, but it's nothing too significant, nothing heavy. Now, when it comes to our winds, we have wind speeds sustained anywhere from 10 to 18 miles an hour. We do have stronger wind gusts though. Those gusts over 20 miles an hour. Look at that, a gust of 36 reported in Mayport. So as for the rest of the rain, we could continue to see light showers. Again, the mist and the light showers through the rest of the morning and into the afternoon. Now later on today, this evening, it's possible some of you may be down into portions of Putnam or Flagler, maybe St. John's. You could get a break with a peak of sunshine here and there. I do think we're going to stick with the cloud cover for places like Duval, Nassau, and up through southeast Georgia. And at times, with some of these rain bands trying to wrap back in, you could get anywhere from light to perhaps moderate rain for those of you in southeast Georgia, again, late this afternoon and into this evening. So some pockets of moderate rain still for those of you across southeast Georgia, light rain for pretty much everyone else. Then we head into our Wednesday morning, light showers out there again tomorrow morning. A lot of us, though, dry for our Wednesday. We'll just have those passing showers and occasional downpours that will move through. So let's go county by county and talk about the impacts for the rest of the day. So for Duval County, what we'll be watching for is light rain, and we could get up to about an inch more of rain total for the rest of the day today. But something else that we'll watch out for, sustained winds max 20 miles an hour, gusts max 40 miles an hour. So just take it slow on the roads. Make sure you stay informed. We've had some reports of flooded roadways out there. For St. John's and Flagler, again, very similar story. Light rain, maybe up to an inch total. Winds max sustained 20 miles an hour, gusts up to about 35 miles an hour. So just stay careful on the roads, take your time. Clay, Putnam, also the same story when it comes to the rain. It's just light rain up to an inch, but something that we are watching, Black Creek. So from Middleburg, Penny Farms, those areas, we're going to watch out for the Black Creek to start to rise all across the first coast. If you live near creeks or rivers that are subject to rising, like the St. Mary's River. That's what we're going to watch for with more rain, especially more rain falling to the north of us. We could see rivers and creeks rising over the next several days. So for Glenn, Camden, and Nassau County, additional rainfall 1 to 3 inches because we could get some of those bands to bring back some moderate rain for some of you right there in Glenn, Camden, and Nassau. Winds 30 miles an hour, gusts up to 50 miles an hour. And we'll still watch out for the possibility of a little bit of storm surge 1 to 2 feet. So be aware of some of the road closures out there, flooded roadways. And then for Ware, Charlton, Brantley, and Pierce counties, again, you might get a little bit of moderate rainfall with some of the bands later on today. So we'll also say 1 to 3 inches of rain possible. Winds around 20, gusts up to about 40 miles an hour. And last but not least, Baker, Union, Bradford, and Columbia. The good news is a lot of you really coming to an end when it comes to those impacts. So with the light rain, I think you get still less than an inch total. We'll still just have some of those light showers moving on through. And then your winds sustained max 20 miles an hour, gusts up to 45 miles an hour. But watch out for the high water. Again, you had so much rain earlier, so we have some flooded roadways, some flooded areas, and we'll have to watch out for rising rivers. This is from the Weather Prediction Center, a bunch of really smart meteorologists and scientists that put together an expected rainfall total graphic. And what they're saying here, just to kind of bring home the point of what we just broke down, most of the rain falling for southeast Georgia. So for those of you in the Brunswick area, maybe up to around 5 inches of rain. That's what this is saying. And then notice how those rainfall totals significantly drop. So less rain for those of you from Lake City to Keystone Heights, Palatka, and Palm Coast. And then the rainfall totals go up the farther north and northeast you go. If we keep going north and northeast, you'll see much more rain all along the east coast of the United States because that is the projected path of Debby. So more rain on the way for places like Washington, D.C., New York City, and Boston eventually later on. But as mentioned, we have to watch out for our rising rivers. So we do have a couple of flood warnings in place already for those rivers, and that's something that we will watch for the next several days. All right, here's a time lapse this morning. This is going to be over the last 3 hours. Downtown Jacksonville, you can see the raindrops on the screen. You can't really see the tall buildings there because of the mist, the low clouds. The point here is that it is a gross and dreary morning. So out there across the First Coast, still some rain falling, whether it's light showers or it's mist, and we have the heavy cloud cover too. Thick cloud cover, I should say. So same story in Mayport. Usually we get a beautiful sunrise with this time lapse. You can't even see the sun because of all the cloud cover out there and the rain that has been moving through. So far, rainfall totals have been highest out near Live Oak. This is just radar estimated rainfall totals, but it's saying about 16 inches of rain have fallen near the Live Oak area, over 10 inches of rain for Lake City. And then places like Folkston and Waycross, you've had over 5 inches of rain, and with the possibility of a little bit more later on today. Again, we were going 1 to 3 inches more later on today, depending on where those bands really wrap in. And then for Brunswick, you've had about 4.5 inches of rain so far. So we'll also watch out for more rain in your area. Places in Duval County, it's ranged from about 2 inches at the coast, but inland, we've gotten closer to 4 inches of rain. Something else we're watching, the seas, of course. So our buoys coming in, it's clocking seas of 9 feet off the southeast Georgia coast and closer to 6 to 7 feet for those of us in northeast Florida. Look at this off the coast of Charleston, 14 feet. So it's really roughing up our seas out there. We have a high rip current risk. We're also watching out for that little bit of surge, 1 to 2 feet for those of you in southeast Georgia. So a quick reminder with the high tides today. High tides at 11:18 a.m. in Brunswick, and for Jekyll Island, it's 10:25 a.m. St. Mary's 11:05 a.m. So we could get some higher high tides with that closer to the lunch hour. Here's just one model run showing us the evolution of Debby, and it has more rain wrapping through portions of Georgia and South Carolina throughout the day today into this evening. Again, light rain mostly for us with moderate rain for southeast Georgia at times. And then it shows Debby continuing to move through the South Carolina area, stalling near Charleston and Myrtle Beach, and then eventually starting to work its way inland over South Carolina and then up into North Carolina. So for us here, as long as it goes that direction and it goes out through the southeast, today we still have a weather impact alert because we'll still see that rain. It's just gross outside with the mist and the cloud cover, and we have the slick roads, and we'll be watching out for the river and creek flooding. Now tomorrow I'm expecting less rain. Still, some of us will get some of those bands wrapping in, but about 40% coverage of rain total, and then even less on Thursday. Notice as the rain chances start to drop, we will see those temperatures start to rise. So today, meteorologist Lou Turner put it in a good way where almost try to enjoy it, because high temperatures with the rain and the cloud cover sticking around 84 degrees for our highs. Still in the 80s tomorrow, and then the 90s return on Thursday. From there, we expect those temperatures to continue to rise. We'll be in the middle 90s. We even have a high of 95 degrees for Sunday and Monday. We do expect more of that scattered afternoon shower and thunderstorm activity to return over the weekend. So again, this is our next 7 days. Today we are still dealing with Debby. For some of us, it's just that light rain out there that we'll see. And then it could be moderate for portions of southeast Georgia where you get a little bit more rainfall totals. The wind, it's going to stay windy, or excuse me, I should say breezy, with some gusts at times. And besides that, it is humid. So our main takeaway from here, please watch out for flooded roads, and we'll watch out for those rising creeks and rivers. I'm meteorologist Lee Southwick. Thanks for joining me. We'll be back at 11 o'clock with a new update.